Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 10 Talks with Clearwater Academy. My name is Emily Price.
My name is Father Anthony Sortino.
And I am very excited about our talk today. I think our title is very creative. It was actually Father's idea.
Spiders, dragons, and fathers.
Oh my. So, we're excited because we're going to be talking about films today. And we're going to talk about two films in particular. And something that gets me really excited about good cinematography and good art in film is the way that these deep and profound themes can weave their way through in unexpected places.
Yeah, so one of the topics that most at least strikes me as a spiritual father is a culture in which our father figures are so very broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how powerful it can be to see examples of the way things were meant to be. So we're going to look at that through the lens of a couple of different movies. And in particular, one thing that Father and I were reflecting on ahead of time is that regardless, though, of how broken our earthly fathers might be, the fact is that we have a perfect Father in heaven who loves us with a bountiful love that desires to bestow blessing.
That's right. And how exciting to be able to draw that lesson of God as a father in a moment of entertainment with cartoons and comic characters that are just fun to watch.
Yeah. And so our first one is
Into the Spiderverse, Spiderman Into the Spiderverse. So it's the first of a trilogy, and the second one was just released. I'm going to just recap a little bit of the storyline. So we find Miles Morales, who's an awkward teenager, and his dad, Jeff, who is a police chief and who's trying to figure out how to connect with his son, who ghosts his text, who's sort of a little bit uncomfortable in conversation.
Classic.
Yes. But then all of a sudden something happens in Miles' life where he's bitten by this radioactive spider and he has these superpowers of invincibility and this electric shock thing that he can do. But he can't control his powers and he's frustrated and a bit stuck in this place. And so we come upon this scene where Uncle Aaron has just died and Jeff goes to find his son, Miles, in the dorm room. Miles is all webbed up and he's immobile and he's behind the door and Jeff's speaking through the door to his son and he's just opening up his heart and giving him a chance to speak. And he says, I see this spark in you. That's why I push you, because he knows what his son is capable of doing. And so in this little dialogue, you see Miles receiving from his dad this affirmation of what his dad sees in him. And right at the very end, Jeff knocks on the door and he says, I love you. And so that greatest affirmation of a father to a son, I love you. And then as he walks away, you have the zoom in on Miles's eyes and they start to sparkle with his lightning power. And he breaks through the webs. He's set free. And you can see now he has a freedom and a newfound strength to use his powers for the mission that's given to him. And it was that fatherly confidence, that affirmation from his father that sets him free and gives him that power.
And I think I can speak and share even just from my own life that there have been a couple of moments in my life where it's been deeply impacting for me, where I was living in a moment of insecurity, of uncertainty, on the breadth of on the threshold of starting something new that I didn't actually think I could do. And then having a father figure come up to me and just look me in the eyes and say, I believe in you and I know you can do this and I wouldn't want anyone else. We both work with a lot of teenagers and they would say it hits different.
Right. That's awesome. And so then the second illustration that we have is another cartoon. It's a sequel. It's called How to Train Your Dragon 2. I'll recap the first one where we have Stoic, who's the chieftain of this big tribe, and his wife, Valka, is nowhere to be seen. She had walked out after Hiccup was born. And so we have similarly to the other film, we have Stoic trying to relate to his adolescent son, who feels rather intimidated by such a big, strong, burly man of a father. And Hiccup is small in frame. He doesn't have the same type of skills. But you see that throughout this movie, he reveals his gifts, his compassion, but also his boldness, his courage that he has. And he comes to rescue the people and save them. And he brings the dragons together with the people. And so now we have in the second film, this moment where Valka, the mom, comes back on the scene and we discover Stoic in a different way. It's a tender moment that strikes my heart. I feel blessed that my mom and dad are very tender with each other. My dad loves to hold her hand, and you see these moments of this look between the lovers. And so what we find in this film, Stoic, who's this big, strong man, comes before his wife for the first time in many years, and no longer do we see this big, strong chieftain. We see a starstruck lover before his sweetheart. And so he approaches her that way. He starts to sing their wedding song, and they begin to dance and laugh and become a family again. And throughout this revelation of a different perspective on his dad, Hiccup is looking at Stoic like, who is this man and where did my dad go? And he discovers this whole other side to his dad. He discovers the side of the lover, of the husband to the wife who is his mother. And then right from there, literally seconds later, you see Hiccup, who is confronting the enemy, and he is about to be attacked by his own dragon, Toothless, who's been hypnotized, and he's going to shoot this fire out of his mouth, and Stoic, the dad, runs and jumps in the way and takes the blow and gives his life for his son. And so that's where we have this scene that we're showing you now, where you have Hiccup with his mom, Valka, and they're just holding the body of Stoic and weeping, but also finding the strength and the heroism of this great man. And so the father figure here is twofold. You see the father to his son Hiccup, who is courageous and strong and giving his life, but also the father who is a lover and shows him how he can grow into becoming that lover as well. Very tender.
Mm-hmm. And in all of this, the thing that I love most about really good art that is done well and from the heart, is that it shows you like the artist is envisioning what could be. And so I think something that can be really grounding in moments of trial, when your faith is tested and you're tempted to disbelieve in the goodness of the Father, is to remember scenes like these, to remember these images, these beautiful patches of just artwork that have been put out into the world that shows what could be, and maybe what was meant to be from all time with our earthly fathers, but because of the fall and because we're all broken human beings, just simply cannot be. But we can always turn to our Heavenly Father and know that He smiles down on us in the same way that these characters do their own sons.
That's right. So this is, for us at Clearwater, one of our missions that we desire to do in our formation of our students and the families who come through our doors, is to give this lens of faith that is sort of a filter of reality and reminds us of the eternal truths, those things we aspire to. When you see these scenes in these movies or other things that you might watch or stories you might read, something happens to your own heart and you're lifted and encouraged. And that's what we hope to give you in our talks and our conversations and here at this school, to remember the bigger picture, that we have a Father in heaven who loves us, that we're made for so much more. We're made for freedom. We're made for heaven, for a great joy to be with the Lord.
Mm-hmm. So that's all for today. We look forward to seeing you again. Until then, God bless. See you later.
See you next time.